Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Jason Wright Show. All right, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, please consider clicking like or subscribe. And if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcast, then please consider leaving a 5-star rating and share this with someone that you think might find it beneficial. So I've learned something here recently that was really kind of shocking, to be honest with you, as someone who tries to perform at a high level, and that's what this whole show is about, is finding ways that we can always go beyond what's expected of us, what we expect of ourselves, just kind of always seeking getting to that higher performance level. And it was really interesting to learn that our brains are actually wired to underperform. So think about that. All of us who are trying to reach some sort of excellence in our careers, in our relationships, we have this internal governor inside us that is built to underperform. I thought about how David Goggins is always talking about wherever you think you are, if you pushed yourself to the limits, there's probably about 40% more that you could push. And I think this is something that he is onto in that. Now, I don't know whether the actual percentage is there or not, but I tell you that was something that stuck with me for a long time. Whenever I would be on my Peloton or doing some other physical activity, I always thought, as tired as I may feel, and as much as I want to stop, I've actually got 40% more that I could actually push to. And so I would just keep going. And the real point of this is to know that if our brains are subconsciously designed or designed to leverage our subconscious to govern us to only so much exertion, and this really applies to physical fitness, then how do we overcome that default setting? Well, the simple fact is we have to make a conscious effort. If you are someone that is trying to reach a physical goal, that you're actually trying to achieve something athletically, you want to run faster, run harder, expand your VO2 max, whatever the case may be, your mind is set to default to underperform so that you don't get hurt. So whenever you're on that Peloton ride and you're doing your FTP test, which is your functional threshold power test, which is absolutely miserable, or if you're just trying to increase your VO2 max and you're doing something like the 4x4 Norwegian, where you're 4 minutes on a zone 5 and then 4 minutes completely off and then 4 minutes on, then you know what I'm talking about. You know there's this point where you hit that you're like, if I go any harder, I can't breathe. My heart's going to pop out of my chest. It feels like you're actually doing something bad, and your body will say, stop. Your mind will tell you, you have reached a point where you need to regulate down. So you have to make that decision to push through and keep going. And so I think that what this means to me is that with regard to anything I'm trying to achieve, I can't just rely on being in a good mood. I can't rely on being motivated. I can't rely on anything that basically is just kind of the default setting of my being. I'm going to have to make a conscious effort to go further than what I think I can. It's always setting the goal a little bit harder than what you actually think you can achieve. One of this, a good book that I read here, gosh, it's been about a year ago, is Michael Leister's book, The Comfort Crisis. And one of the things he talked about was this competition. I can't remember what it's called, the Magogi or something to that effect. I know that's not it, but essentially it was this personal challenge that you can do to yourself where there's several things at play here. One, you don't tell anyone that you're doing it, so that you're not doing it for the benefit of others or to impress or anything like that, and you only have yourself to hold accountable. The next thing is you have to make it 50% harder than what you think you can achieve. So if you think that if you want to run 10 miles for the first time, set out to run 20. That's the goal. Whatever it is, I guess it'd be 10 miles, it'd be 15 miles. So if you want to run 10 miles, decide to go out and your goal is going to be to run 15. You're going to set the goal higher than what you actually think, by 50%, what you actually think you can achieve. This is the reason why some excel beyond what we think is capable and others don't. it was, Roger Bannister, the first man to ever break the 5-minute mile. His physician actually told him he could not do it because he would die if he were to run a mile in under 5 minutes. And I would venture a guess that there was at some point where Roger Bannister was about to break the 5-minute mile that he thought that his doctor was right, that he would actually die. And I bet his mind told him, if you go forward, you're going to die. You're going to kill yourself. But Roger Bannister made the cognitive decision to override his default setting, and he broke the 5-minute mile. So the point of the point of this episode is simply that if you want to achieve great things, you're going to have to decide to go beyond what you think you're capable of. You're going to have to sometimes go beyond what your mind is telling you you're capable of. You're going to have to decide that whatever you're pursuing, if it's truly worthwhile and if it truly is your idea of excellence, it may hurt. It may even seem as though it's dangerous, but that's what it's going to take. You have to make a cognitive decision if you're actually going to reach the heights of excellence that you're ultimately pursuing. I'm Jason, and I'm out.
This episode of The Jason Wright Show is sponsored by Authentic Health. At Authentic Health, we believe real health starts at the cellular level. In today's world, stress, processed foods, environmental toxins, and poor sleep are working against your body every single day. If you want to take control of your health and build a stronger foundation, visit shopauthentichealth.com and use promo code JASON to get 10% off your first order. That's promo code JASON for 10% off at Authentic Health.